So if there's one thing that you should try to avoid having in your life, it's a large Steam library. For starters, you spend more time browsing the damn thing than you do playing it. This, coupled with a constant realisation and reminder of your irresponsibility when it comes to money, makes it pretty hard to get good sob stories and win Britain's Got Talent, cause let's face it, we all know why you're broke. That said, sometimes the endless browsing can lead to some nice surprises. Seeing a game that elicits great nostalgia is a fine thing indeed, and then sometimes you see things that you'd rather forget, bringing back the loop of endless dumb despair this list still haunts you with. Still, if you want to join the ranks of endless scrolling suffering, best to do it with some stuff you actually want to play, so time to trawl through the endless depths of my Steam dungeon to find the games that everyone else forgot that, even if not amazing, are at least interesting enough to actually be worth experiencing. So welcome to my world of weird hidden gems. Today's game is the fast and frantic, oh for God's sake. Okay, today I'm playing the shooter, oh not again. Okay, don't crash, oh for fuck's sake. Welcome to the never-ending buggy mess that is Nexuiz, a game by Illphonic, the company known famously for helping out with Sonic Boom and Star Citizen, and it was originally published by THQ. Okay, so it literally has nothing going for it at this point, and plus, thanks to the servers being down for 2 years after THQ closed its doors and only coming back to Steam again in February, it's fair to say that this game is an uncared for, unpatched, very unstable and not always amazingly optimised game with a non-existent community, dead servers and no actual single player campaign to speak of. So why am I even slightly recommending this game for a bloody pilot episode of all things? Well, for starters, I think it's genuinely interesting, but most importantly, it was made before 2013, which means that it actually has bot matches like all multiplayer games should do, but don't. Plus, it's a Quake-like arena FPS, which basically means I'm forced to do a drum and bass montage. Good thing that half the game's soundtrack is bloody drum and bass then. Nexuiz is wonderfully old school, and if you're looking for a straight old school shooter with lots of interesting weapons and maps, you should just get Unreal Tournament 3 instead. Or Quake 3, that's also great too. Okay, so most of what I'm saying has probably already made you not want this game already, but I'm recommending it almost entirely based on one mechanic which is nothing short of astoundingly fun: the modifier system. A game of Nexuiz is your typical deathmatch capture the flag affair, but where it shines is in its pickups. Picking up a modifier node or performing well lets you get to choose between 3 randomly selected modifiers, from changing the time of day, giving everyone jetpacks, or just replacing all the sound effects with fart sounds for a bit. A game of Nexuiz is wildly unpredictable and oftentimes hilariously bizarre. It helps that there are a ton of these things too, and if you don't like one you can switch them on and off individually in custom savable sets. Add that to a sick drum and bass soundtrack and a bunch of madly running around bots, and you've got yourself a cheap recipe for some dumb, relaxing fun. Basically, it's hilarious Quake for those people who really don't care enough to get good and would instead rather annoy everyone on the server by muting their sound for 15 seconds, because yes, that is a thing you can do if you really hate yourself. Well, it's fun when it works at least. It's such a great testament to the importance of AI bots that despite empty servers and now broke companies, I can load up a game of Nexuiz by myself and still giggle in glee at something so wonderfully playable, yet so profoundly dumb. And, despite all its problems, if you do ever see the thing cheap, give it an install, enable all the modifiers, and get ready to kick the AI's ass and capture the flag, because if there's one thing the AI doesn't know what to do, it's fucking capture the bloody flag. Still, as many would attest to, it's hard to recommend something to someone by showing them a broken game and selling to it solely on the word it's just fun. Fun isn't something you can quantify, there's no scientific method to determine fun. Until now. To test the fun factor of Nexuiz, I turned on the greatest achievement mankind has ever created, that being the soundtrack to Ridge Racer Type 4 on the PS1, and began to play the game until it became unplayable due to the unstoppable hypnoticness that is everything about Ridge Racer Type 4 on the PS1. Let's observe the results, shall we? As you can see, that was a staggering whole 22 seconds until the hand was taken off the controls, which may not seem like much, but when compared to the test for the Order 1886, the game was so anti-fun that the subject could not stop before dancing to the Ridge Racer Type 4 soundtrack for more than 17 hours before the game had even started. So, when comparing the results of 22 seconds to minus 17 hours, it's fair to say that Nexuiz is indeed a video game. You're welcome.